Hi, Miss Pope. How are you? Hey, Janie. How are you doing? Janie Semporium. How are you doing? It's Itty Bitty Sam Pitty's Rescue. Oh, that sounds cute. Sound like pit bulls. I'm assuming those are pit bulls. How are you guys doing? Thank you so much for being here. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. One thing I can say is that the picture quality in Instagram is not good at all. How are you guys doing? Hey, just be real. Hey, nourishment for your soul. How are you doing? Hey, Charcetta, let me know how it is on YouTube. Hi, Julie. How are you doing? Hi, Esther. How are you doing? Esther Mortis. How are you doing? Blessed Sunday to you too. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. God of War fan. Hi, how are you? Thank you for being here. How are you doing? Well, hello, MMP. How are you doing? Too blessed to be stressed. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much. I'm glad you can hear me. That's good. Hello, Oscar. How are you doing? Thank you for being here. Is that Kenkin? Hi, Kenkin. How are you doing? Thank you for being here. Just be real. I was just gonna make sure that on YouTube, you see that you're a moderator. That you see that you are actually a moderator on there. Okay. Thank you guys so much. Is Layla Abi? How are you doing? Beautiful name. Hi, Layla Abi. How are you doing? What a pretty name. Thank you so much for being here. Good evening, everybody. Hi, Monique. How are you doing? Welcome. Thank you for being here. Hello, everyone. Hello, everybody. You miss my Seattle and wash my fave. You miss Seattle? You got to come on. Come on up here to Seattle. Come on back. How are you guys doing? I know the video quality is just a hot mess, huh? I'm in the works of resetting my studio. I'm redoing. Hi, Wanda. I'm redoing my studio. So hopefully, uh, is this Wanda off of TikTok? Wanda off of my Facebook? Is that Miss Wanda? Who I think it is. But I'm in the midst of redoing my my studio where I have to set up new cameras because the camera quality on my computer is just not very good. But as long as you guys can hear me, I'm good. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys so much for being here. Let me reload my page. Let me reload my page. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here. Hold on, let me reload my page. Let me reload my page. All right. Hi, Miss Vanessa. How are you doing? You here? Okay. Just be real. Do you see that? Oh, that is Miss Wanda. Miss Wanda, you know what? It just so happened I was looking through my messages and I looked and I never called you. Please forgive me. And I was thinking, I was like, oh man, I never called you. I promised to call you, never called you. Please forgive me. If you can give me, I'm gonna try to call you tomorrow and I'll inbox you to make sure that you're available. But please forgive me. I did not mean to forget you. I just had a lot going on and I went back and looked this way. I was looking at my messages and I said, oh my gosh, I forgot to call you. So please forgive me. I will call you. I promise you. Please forgive me. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Linnell. How are you doing? Well, I am so grateful for being here for you too. Too blessed to be stressed. I just like that. It's got a nice little ring to it. Too stressed to be blessed, baby. Hello, as a Halkionla. Halkionla. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Please forgive me if I mispronounced that. Peace and love. How are you doing? Thank you so much for being here. I promise you, I'm gonna call you, okay? Please forgive me. Let's see. Hi, Jones Courtney. How are you doing? Thank you so much for being here. I'm clicking back and forth. You're excited for the eclipse? I know folks making it seem like it's the apocalypse instead of just the eclipse. So y'all know it's an eclipse, not an apocalypse, okay? Halcyon. Oh, okay. Halcyon. Oh, that's nice. Halcyon. Okay. Please forgive me for messing it up. Thank you so much for being here. Hi there, Patrice. How are you doing? Hey there, Christopher. Hey, Mr. Christopher, how are you doing? How are you doing? Hi, Dolores. How are you doing? Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see who else we got. Hi, Antonio. How are you doing? How are you, sir? I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Thank you so much for asking. Okay, I just wanted to say all my salutations. Make sure I'm just waiting for a few minutes to get a few people on. Let me see. I hope you get good. And if you don't get good reception, you can always go back and listen to the replay. Okay. Well, let's get started. First of all, before I start, do know I always have to put a disclaimer out there. Today is April the 7th, 2024. It is 8:27 p.m. For those of you with European or military mindset, it is 2027 2000 hours, 2027 hours. So it's 8:27 p.m. right now, Pacific Standard Time. So that makes it 9:10:27 Central Standard Time and 11:27 Eastern Time. If you're not tuning in today, right now at this moment, then you are watching the replay. So those of you, some people get mad at me because they're saying hello because they think it's still live by the time they come on. And if you are listening to it and it is not 8:28 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, add 2 hours for Central Standard Time, 3 hours for Eastern Standard Time. On April the 7th, 2027, I am no longer live. It will be a replay for you. And thank you so much for coming in. If you don't like me making all these hellos and salutations to people, I want you to take your finger and there's going to be an arrow on the left and an arrow on the right, and there's going to be a pause in the middle. I want you to hit the fast forward button and you can get all beyond um, you can get all beyond the salutations. Okay. Do I share my phone number? I do not. No, ma'am, I do not. I don't share my phone number. But the questions will be after I'm finished. After I'm finished talking. All right. Well, let's look and see. Let's see what our topic is. Make sure I got everybody in here. I'm going to get started. Okay. So tonight's topic is, how do I help the narcissist? I was joking with someone. They asked me what the topic was, and how do you help the narcissist? And they said you can't. I said, that's it. Good night. Good night, everybody. So give me just a second here. No problem. Some people come in like cute little sheep in wolf's clothing, and as soon as you open your mouth, we got you, and we're gonna block you. So be careful when you come on here. Be respectful, to the people that are on here. Be respectful to the host, because sometimes we don't know. Just be real. We don't know until they get to talking. And when they start talking, we get the blocking. We got the block fingers, y'all. We like blocking. I enjoy blocking. But just be respectful. Be respectful for the people that are here. And gentlemen, thank you so much for being here, because this is not just a female platform, but we do have, we're women heavy. And a lot of these women are very respectful. They support the kings on here. We support you kings because we know that some of you have been through the same thing. And sometimes narcissists, when you're talking about the female narcissists can be even more vicious than male narcissists. We know that. And a lot of times, most people don't talk about the abuse that men go through. When we talk about domestic violence, oftentimes it's more talked about because more females, more domestic violence, and especially narcissist abuse, you hear it more with the females, but sometimes people don't realize, or because of the fact that they have been abused by men, they can't fathom that a man can be abused by a female narcissist, which they can. And a lot of you have had experience with narcissists, whether it's wife, your own children. So, the one thing I want to say to the kings that are here on this program, I want to say we honor you, we respect you, and we will not disrespect you on this channel. A lot of times we are talking about things because, I'm a female, so I can tell you from a female perspective. when I learn something from the men, I learn it from what you tell me and things that I've learned, in session and talking to people, even the people that I've been stationed with in the military and I have witnessed. So one thing we know is that men go through narcissist abuse just like females do. Please forgive me if sometimes when I'm talking, I get in this mode because I'm in a female mindset as I'm talking until I start talking about some what the men go through. But we respect and we honor the kings on this channel. The women honor the kings on this channel. It's the ones that come on and try to mess it up for all the other ones. That's why we got the block finger. Me and Just Be Real, we like to block. So do know that we respect you, we love you, and we're going to support you 100,000% because we know you guys go through it too. So tonight's topic is, how do you help the narcissist? Well, we can end the broadcast right there by saying you can. All right, good night, everybody, and I'll talk to you next week, right? So listen, for many of us, now some of us have narcissistic traits. If you've come up in a family with narcissists, if you have had parents that are narcissists, if you have dated or been married to a narcissist, 9 times out of 10, we have narcissist traits and we know it. We recognize it. Sometimes we may not recognize it until someone says it to us. Hey, you're acting just like, and then, the first thing's like, I don't want to be like that, and or sometimes we're in defense mode because, if you have been in a situationship with a narcissist, for someone to point out that you're acting like them, you become very defensive because guess what? 9 times out of 10, when you in that situationship with that narcissist, they were always accusing you of something. It's always your fault about something. So if someone that's well-meaning says, hey, this is how you're acting, is very narcissistic. Well, I'm not a narcissist, or someone's always pointing their finger at, because you're accustomed to that narcissist pointing their fingers at you. Hey, Misha, you're so accustomed to that. So you're always on the defense, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, So the problem is that you're already in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, so you either fighting back, you're trying, the fawn part is when you're trying to appease that person. And so a lot of people do have narcissistic traits. That does not make you a narcissist. That just means you have traits. But when a person, there are nine traits. There are 9 traits under the narcissistic personality disorder in accordance to the DSM-5, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Psychiatric Disorders, 5th edition. And if you look, there are 9 traits. In order to qualify for that diagnosis, there has to be a consistent pattern of at least 5 of those traits. And it's a consistent pattern. And a lot of you know, if a person cycles through all of them all the time, they just go through all of them, they may just have the traits. But if a person is set and you can see 5 or 6 of those traits, and they're consistent, they're always like that. And one thing, it doesn't matter where they go, they're consistent and they always have those same traits. They do the same thing all the time because a narcissist is very consistent in their dysfunctional traits. Then they probably have narcissistic personality disorder. But it's not meant for everybody to diagnose it. That is left up to the professionals to diagnose that. Because sometimes it may not be NPD. It could be borderline personality disorder. A lot of those traits in cluster B look very similar, right? Now, a person, if you have never had a personality disorder, you don't know what it's like to have a personality disorder and how those people think. Because most of us look at it in rose-colored glasses because you're looking at it from your perspective as a pretty functional person. In your mind, because of the fact that that I wouldn't do something like that, and I wouldn't want someone doing something like that to me. And so you are very empathetic when it comes to people. You can put your feet in their shoes and say, I know what I felt like when I went through that. So I definitely wouldn't want to put you through something like that. That's called empathy. And I'm not talking about the empath. I'm not talking about the highly sensitive people. I'm talking about just general empathy in general, where you can put your foot in somebody's shoes and think, I wouldn't want someone treating me like that, and I know what it felt like, when people were, or when that person treated me like that. I know how painful that was. I know what it's like to grow up with a parent like this. I know what it is to grow up with a parent. If you've never experienced it before, how can you empathize with someone? Because you really don't know what it feels like. Then you can just only imagine. Or like, for example, when, God forbid, if a parent dies and your parent is alive and this person is really crying, and you may think, oh my gosh, because you start thinking, life is so short, and just yesterday, and they're telling you just yesterday, my mother and my father was there, my grandmother was there. And I still have all these memories when they were young and strong. And you start thinking about your own parents and it really touches you. And then you go and you try to make sure that you talk to them, that you that you love on them because, oh my gosh, I can only imagine what you feel like. And you start feeling the pain like, what would I do with my, that's called empathy. To be able to feel that. A narcissist does not have emotional empathy. A narcissist has cognitive empathy. Cognitive empathy, in the lack of better words, is the ability to know how emotions function. I know how to push these buttons to make this. They have the head knowledge of what it's supposed to look like. They have the head knowledge of knowing, when you're at a funeral, you're supposed to cry. But it's so awkward for them. They outcry. They watch to see how hard you cry, so they got to outcry you. If you're at a wedding, they're watching how everyone is excited. I got to be overexcited. So it's almost like they use the emotions, but the emotions are overboard. It's too much. There's no like balance in between those emotions. That's that cognitive empathy, meaning that I know what the emotions are supposed to be, and then when I try to do it, I go overboard because I got to get the attention. I got to make sure that the funeral turns into my direction. People are looking at me. The wedding turns in my direction because I'm the maid of honor, or the bride, the groomsman, or whatever, the best man or whatever. So that is that cognitive empathy. But the emotional empathy of being able to feel someone's pain, and it led me to say this, is that we look at these narcissists and we try to figure that narcissist out based off of our perspective on life and how to treat people. And a lot of you spend a lot of time when you love someone, and you don't have to be ashamed of the fact that you love the narcissist, because it is what it is. You love the narcissist. That doesn't make it wrong. It's just they're narcissists. They cannot reciprocate what it is that you're giving to them. And so you're looking at this person and you're thinking they just don't understand. So what I have to do is I have to make sure that I let them know. But the more I tell them, it's just they just don't understand. And I'm working so hard to make them understand. And I'm trying to help them, but they just don't understand. Have you ever thought for a minute a narcissist understands exactly what they're doing? And the more you're trying, the more they play on those emotions. You keep looking at them like you look at yourself, and you keep putting, what it is you're basically projecting your good traits onto that narcissist. So because you're just like they project themselves onto you, and you take that negativity as if it's yours, you're projecting your good traits onto that narcissist. So you are handling them, you're treating them like you would want to be treated, because that's how you feel, that's how you think. So you put that on the narcissist, and they don't think like that, they don't act like that. You think like that. And believe it or not, you're training them because you're telling them how they're supposed to act, how they're supposed to treat people. You just don't understand. I'm trying so hard to teach you, but you just don't understand. Do you understand how much this hurts? Do you understand this, or do you understand that? First of all, they don't care. You're giving them fuel. A, you are a source of supply. And by you doing that, you're giving them fuel. A person cannot be helped if a person doesn't want to be helped because they don't see anything wrong with themselves. A person that doesn't see anything wrong with themselves is going to keep doing the exact same thing because they don't see that they're the problem. You're the problem. You're the problem. And if you listen to them, even when there is something going on, it feels like they're being accused. So they always feel like they're being accused. And there may be something going on and you say it to them, but I guarantee you when you tell them that, they're going to gaslight you and they're going to flip the whole conversation around to a point you're apologizing, but you can't even figure out why am I apologizing? What? Why am I apologizing? What am I apologizing for? Because that's how they get you. So it's almost like a pointless conversation with these individuals. And then you're wondering, how do I help them? You can't help someone that does not want help. That's why if you look, there's a lot of people that are homeless and they're on drugs, right? And sometimes you're looking at family member and you're wondering, why did these people come off of drugs and change their life, but my family, my loved one didn't and died on an overdose, or mine did not recover and they're still out there, but this person did? Because that person made a decision to change. They recognized and they made a decision to change. You offered them help. They took the help. They may have, relapsed a couple of times, but they really wanted to change. A narcissist, on the other hand, it doesn't matter how many times you put something out there. They have to want to change. Can they make those decisions? Yes, they can. Have I seen any of them change? I've never seen one change and then stay changed. They change momentarily, and then they just relapse back into their way of life, because as they get older, they get worse. That personality disorder get worse. I'm gonna tell you this story for those of you that have young children. um, Young lady that I know had a child during the pandemic. These pandemic babies. So a lot of them weren't socialized because they weren't going to daycare. They were home for the first 2 years, 1 or 2 years of their life. And so he wasn't really socialized with other children, just with his own family. The first time she puts him into daycare, and it's a mixture of like Hispanic women and white ladies, Caucasian ladies. The owner of the daycare was a Caucasian woman, and he was having, for those of you that are into child development or early childhood education things, that you have been educated enough to know, or you have been in training if you're dealing with childcare, that there are children that do have like separation anxiety, children that are not really socialized, so you have to teach them how to socialize, patient with the children. You would think this is what happens in a daycare, but the child was not really socialized, so he didn't know how to share. There were a lot of things that he was a little delayed, not delayed mentally because he was a very intelligent child, just delayed in his social interaction with other children because he never really had it. He never really had to share. He was really the only child. And so the owner of the daycare, decided she would take upon the task of making sure she get him right, right? And so she was using fear tactics, because all of a sudden he's talking really low. When he comes home, he talks really low. He's really scared. He's really, he's kind of balled up, curled in. Now I want you to remember that he's kind of balled up and curled in. Remember this part, because we'll have the test coming later on. But balled up and curled in, and using a very quiet voice. And he was having, potty accidents. Couldn't really get him potty trained. He's having potty accidents. A lot of accidents. Couldn't get him potty trained a lot. And it was almost like he was just traumatized. So the mother makes a CPS report and says that my child is being mistreated. My child is being abused by the owner of the child care. She's using harsh language. She's screaming and yelling at him. She's snatching him. And so CPS gets involved. Case is unfounded. They close the case. But the child care, which is under Department of Child Services, Department of Social Services, where, you get the child care voucher, assist the parent in finding another daycare. They were like, obviously something's going on. Let's get him another daycare, under the voucher, get him another daycare. So he gets into this daycare. Once again, mixture of Hispanic women, Black women, and I think it was Hispanic women, Black women, a male teacher, and the owners were, I don't know who the owners were, but like management, Caucasian. So child is in there. Child starts having problems again, throwing chairs, kicking, spitting, screaming, doesn't like to be told what to do, slapping teachers. So come to find out, the teacher that they had in there, a girl, the age of 19 years old, autistic. Don't have anything against autistic, and this is just listen to the story, and then I will, you'll find out at the end of the story why I'm making these, So the teacher, 19 years old, autistic, has no formal training when it comes to watch. She's basically a babysitter. In her class, she's got toddlers, and those toddlers, a lot of them are special needs or emotional. These kids have emotional issues. A lot of them are pandemic babies. And autistic. Some of them are autistic. Well, 19-year-old is autistic herself, so she's overwhelmed with the children that she has in there. She's not trained, so she's yelling and screaming at these kids. She's basically get your MNF and MNF into the bathroom, and I'm not going to go through this today. And so she's screaming. So the classroom's in total chaos. Little child, the one that I'm talking about, throwing chairs, slapping, hitting, kicking the teacher. They bring in another teacher. So this teacher supposedly is good at handling these kids, but she gets so frustrated with them. She picks them up and puts them in the hallway, lays them on the floor, says, I'm not dealing, carry him like a football, put him in the hall. So now keep in mind, now this is going on, right? So he gets put out the daycare because he fighting everybody. He's fighting all the teachers, right? So Department of Child Services decides, let us help you get into a special needs program. They have special needs teachers Let's do an IEP. Let's do some assessments, behavioral assessments. So they get the professionals in there. Special education teachers, they get a psychologist involved. They're doing assessments to find out what is going on. So they find out that he's having problems with emotional regulation, right? He's having problems with emotional regulation. And, because he doesn't know how to regulate emotions, he flies off the handle when he can't get something done, so there's some problems. So they're asking questions. So they put him in a special child care, and then they also start him in preschool. They put him in a special preschool because the purpose is to help him regulate emotions. So they got these two different, they got the child care, special child care, and they got special needs teachers in the preschool so that they can help, they're implementing a plan to help him to regulate those emotions, right? Help him regulate emotions. So the teachers are trying to figure out because, he starts off good and then all of a sudden he goes back to those old patterns. He's hitting, he's kicking, he's slapping, he's doing all sorts of stuff. He's tearing up stuff. He's having temper tantrum. He's throwing chairs across the room. They're trying to figure out what is going on. So they ask the mother, what is it that we need to do? What is going on? So she speaks to a therapist. She talks to a therapist, and the therapist asks the question, okay, let me ask you a question. When he was in his first child care, what was the ethnicity of the person that abused him? She said it was a white lady. The owner was a white lady, Caucasian lady. She said in the second daycare, who was the person that abused him? The two teachers that abused him. She said both of them were white ladies. She says now, from that, when he was kicking and screaming, and in these two schools now, who is his target? His target is always white female teachers. She started thinking, she says, wait a minute. He does not have any problem with the Hispanic women. He has no problem with the African American females. He has no problem with the males, period. His attack is always on the white female teachers. The therapist says your child has been traumatized. The root of the trauma, it started with the first white teacher that abused him, and he didn't have a voice. He couldn't speak. He couldn't speak up. So he's doing everything he can to protect himself. He goes to the next daycares. He gets abused by two white teachers again. He can't protect himself. He's a little guy that can't speak. So he's fighting as much as he can. So every time he sees a white teacher, his perspective is these are the people that abuse me. However, I think they have some Indian women too, from India. Indian women, Latina women, and black women, and male. He has no problem with the male teachers. And so whenever these teachers that he'd grown close to would leave, he would have a meltdown. And he would always attack the white teachers. I said all this to say this. His father is a narcissist. His grandfather is a narcissist. His great-grandmother is a narcissist. His great-great-grandmother is a narcissist. His great-great-great-grandmother on both sides are narcissists. He comes from a long line of narcissists, both sides of the family. Do you see the pattern though? But do you also see that when it comes to a narcissist, right? The narcissist, unlike us, when we are in need and we need to be consoled, a lot of times we know how to look out, to get help, to try to self-soothe. A narcissist is almost like an autoimmune disorder that has broken down and has turned inward. And so they turn inward. Anything that is good is bad, and everything that is bad is good. Their whole world is turned inside out. Everything is turned on the inside, turned on the inside to protect. Do you notice when the little boy in the very beginning, when he was abused, he turned inward and got really quiet? They started helping him, and now he's got help. They got special education teachers. They get ready to get a psychologist involved, a behavioral health specialist involved, and he's only about 3 years old. So because they're recognizing where the trauma started from. They recognize now that there was trauma. Not all narcissists are violated or traumatized in that sense. Some of them are overparented. Some of them are put on a pedestal and they become little gods in the families. Some of them are from narcissist parents, and so this is their supply, their source of supply. This is their little god. So different narcissists go through different things. A lot of them have been traumatized, and no one really understands the trauma, you know. Um, um, but if it's boring, then you need to get off of here. Then let's help you out. But the child is getting the help that they need at a very young age. The average narcissist has not gotten the help that they need because the average parents didn't recognize this. There's so much information out now that now parents are able to do things and recognize behaviors. There's certain behaviors like him. If you don't watch it, guess who his target is going to be? White females. Later on, it may extend to all females. Do you notice that pattern? A lot of the male narcissists, females. A lot of the female narcissists, males. And there's some female, and they hate males, or they hate all females, or it could be vice versa. Hate all females, hate all males. Same gender, but there, when they're little, is the time to get the help. And now, there are more therapists that are trained on how to recognize narcissist abuse and certain behavior patterns. Now, when it comes to the child psychologists and child therapists, those that deal with children and family, you want someone. Have you been trained on this? Do you understand? Sometimes it takes someone to say, hey, have you noticed that this is the pattern, this is what's going on, this is where this child has been traumatized, so that therapist, psychologist, psychiatrist can come up with a plan to help interject something to change the trajectory. That's a mouthful. To change the trajectory at which the child is going. Most of you, that are not narcissists, most narcissist children never had anyone to interject to change the trajectory, the predictable trajectory at which they're going, to worsen and it's almost worsen the person for the personality order to grow and lock in, because by the time they're 18, 19 years old, it's a done deal. The personality disorder is there. Usually you see it when they're probably like in their younger teens, early teens, and you see it as in the teenagers, is locking itself in. And it's harder for you to change the behavior. It's harder for you to change anything. Usually when they get into the young teenagers, going from that point forward, usually by the time you're 18, 19 years old is when you can definitely give that person a diagnosis of narcissistic personality disorder. But usually by the time they hit those tweens, that you notice that pattern in their behavior is kind of is setting itself. And it's harder and harder to change. It's harder and harder to penetrate because no one was there to penetrate. And for a lot of you, you can't, you blame yourself, but you can't blame yourself on something that you didn't know. You didn't know. So you didn't know how to help. Now in this situation, for a lot of you, and I understand that all of us have different religious backgrounds, spiritual belief systems, pray. Prayer is very powerful. Sometimes there's nothing that you physically can do yourself but pray. And a lot of people say, I'm going to pray and fast until this lift off of the person. You can only pray up to a person's will. Now, those of you that are believers, I'm talking to those that are believers in Jesus Christ. But you can only pray up to a person's will. You can't pray beyond their will. That's called witchcraft. You can't pray beyond their will. You can only pray up to their will, because you can only pray for a person up to their will. And even God won't superimpose his will on somebody else's will. If that's your will, he's going to let you do it. He's not going to superimpose himself, nor can you superimpose yourself in anybody's life. A person has to want to change in order to change. A person is not going to change until they want to change. I don't talk a lot, my mouth all dry. But a person is not going to change unless exactly. Free said God gave man free will. Absolutely. You have the free will to make your own decisions. The thing about it is that every decision has consequences, positive or negative. Every action has a reaction, and every decision has a consequence, whether it's a positive consequence or a negative consequence. And a lot of times, for those of you that have loved ones that are narcissists, that find out that the person you're married to or dating is a narcissist, and you are so, it's almost like you're shocked. It's almost like you're shocked. Me too, Patrice. But it's you're shocked. So you're trying to do what your heart is telling you to do, because hope is the last thing to go. We have hope for the best. We have hope that you're going to change. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to help you change and to help you recognize the error of your ways. You don't think that a narcissist has lived life enough to see the consequences of their actions, so they know that every person they go to is probably going to find out about them? Now, I'm not talking about the young narcissists that are still trying to, they're discovering themselves, but they're also learning that everything you do has consequences. Now, some of you think to yourself, they're always getting away with something. You think that they're always getting away with something. See, the thing about it is that, for a lot of you, you can find peace and quiet. But imagine a person that lives their life in torment, internal torment. When they're living their life in internal torment, all they can do is give you, is torment you. So they're giving you what you see is what's already inside of them. They live internal torment all the time. So how is it that they're always getting away with something when they constantly live in torment? They constantly have to have someone to feed their ego. They constantly have to have someone where they can suck fuel out of them. They live a miserable existence. I mean, that's a sad thing to say, but they live a miserable existence. If they don't get fuel, some of them become suicidal. Some of them they lose it. They lose it to a point. And then if you talk to some of them long enough, you did this to me. The reason why I'm going through this is because you did this. And you're thinking to yourself, no, those are consequences. You're paying your own consequences. Thank you so much, Patrice. Fan character laughing out loud with oh, okay. It's funny because when you put your emojis on there, it actually tells what the emoji is instead of showing me the emoji. Thank you so much, Patrice. But yeah, but they never see the error of their ways, but they can see all of themselves in you. So all the characteristic, the character flaws that they have, they can see all the character flaws in everybody else, because guess what? It's familiar to them. It's familiar to them because that's what I do. So they may have narcissistic personality disorder, but they recognize, think about it for a minute. That lets you know that they're not as crazy as you think they are. They recognize those traits. Why do you think they pick it up on other people? Even if the other person is not a narcissist, they pick up the traits in other people because they recognize the traits. They have the trait. So of course they're going to recognize, they recognize the traits because of the fact that they have the traits. So how do you not recognize the traits? You see what I mean? How do you not recognize the traits? Hold on just a minute. Somebody want to wife me up. That's not going to happen. But especially, come on now. But where was I at? But a lot of them, you wonder how they pick out other. And think about it. A narcissist can pick up another narcissist and will tell you about the narcissist and tell you all about their behaviors, how they act, how they conduct themselves, how they think, and everything. And you're thinking like, dang, you're good. Oh, you're so good at what you do. Why would they not be good? They're a narcissist. They know the traits. It's familiar. In the world of Christendom, we call that a familiar spirit. So they pick up on their own. They pick up on familiar things. Even those of you that don't have narcissistic personality disorder and have the traits, they pick up on your traits because it's familiar to them. They live like that on a daily basis. Every day they live like that. So they pick it up. That doesn't mean that you're a narcissist. That just means they pick up on the traits that you may have. And then they call you a narcissist. They project themselves on you because they see their traits on you. So now they project on you as if you're the one that's the narcissist. You see what I'm saying? So when you say, how do I help the narcissist? The best way to help the narcissist is get away from them. There's nothing you can do to help them. You've done everything that you can. You've loved them. And now you realize what they are. You know for a fact there's nothing getting ready to change. There's nothing getting ready to change because they're never going to admit that they're at fault. And if they do, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know this. If a narcissist tells you all the things that they've done and they know about themselves, right? They know about themselves. They tell you about themselves. They tell you that they don't want to be this way. They're telling you that they hate being this way. A lot of those that have been diagnosed as a narcissist that are on social media. I want you to think about this for a minute. A narcissist would tell you and would tell you about other narcissists because they recognize the traits in them because they carry those traits. It's almost like they're haters. I mean, I hate to say it like that. It's almost like they're hating on other people, other narcissists that they know. And they'll tell you everything about them because they recognize it because they're projecting on them. And it's not really, they're projecting on them, but at the same time, they're telling you about them, or they're telling you about, you don't need to be with a person like this. It's very much like me. And that's not what you want and everything. Guess what? If you tell a person long enough not to do something, it stirs their curiosity to make them want to go do it. So think about it. It's almost like reverse psychology. The more I tell you not to do something, the more curious you are about doing it. And then on top of that, I recognize these traits. Let me tell you about these traits because I know exactly how this person is and this is how they think. This is what they're doing. But the one thing the narcissist cannot do is they cannot bring you revelation and they cannot bring you healing. They'll give you information. They never give you revelation. They give you information. They'll tell you how these narcissists are but they will never, ever, ever be able to bring you healing. It doesn't happen that way. They'll never bring you healing, ever. They'll never bring you healing. They can't bring you healing. It's not in them. Never. And a lot of people follow these narcissists on social media and like, you know what? Listening to them, I found out a lot. I feel so much better. And but they're love bombing you. They're doing all the things we talk about all the time. They look like, but that's a self-aware narcissist. And they're telling you and they're here to do good. And I just want you to know. No, there's an ulterior motive. There's no good inside of a narcissist. I don't care how good they look to you. I don't care where you see them at. There's no good inside of a narcissist. A narcissist is a narcissist, is a narcissist, is a narcissist. They don't change. The very thing that we talk about, most people get curious about them because they're curious. They stir your curiosity. It's almost like the infamous Bigfoot. They look for the Bigfoot. It's like this creature that you never seen. They're very interesting. And you remember the snake on the Jungle Book that had those little circles and hypnotized Mowgli. It's like the cobra. They hypnotized the cobra and that cobra is swaying back and forth. That's what a narcissist is. I don't care. Think about it. If they can charm you, if they have charisma, if they can make you fall in love with them, if they can love bomb you and make you feel so good about yourself, what do you think they're doing on social media? What do you think they're love bombing you? It's like that cobra. They're love bombing you. And most people are falling for it. Some of the most educated people are falling for it. They love to hear it. They want views on their channels. So they want to get them on their channel. They want to talk to them. And guess what that narcissist is doing? Is getting views. Like Hannibal Lecter. They're getting what they want. All I have to do is be docile. But behind that docile mask that you see, those ones that look real innocent, they're giving me information, they're harmless, is exactly what we talk about all the time. The difference is instead of you being one-on-one with them, they're on social media. And they're just as powerful as they are if they're one-on-one with you. But people are still falling for them. Why? Why? Narcissists don't ever change. I don't care what they tell you on social media. They never change. They are what they are. And then the sad part about it is they tell you exactly who they are. They tell you, and people still flock to them. People still are mesmerized by them because they're like the Bigfoot. I told you. They're mesmerized. They're like Bigfoots. Bigfoots. Well, let's see here. So let's get to some questions. They're lying. Let's get to some questions. Matter of fact, I haven't seen Instagram in a minute. I'm sorry. When I was talking, I couldn't click over it. I didn't want to break my focus. Okay, let's look here. Get outside of self is the core probably. Why does audio speed up and slow down? I don't know. I don't know. Good evening. Hey, Ernestine. It's familiar to us now because we've lived with it so long. Yep. My spirit is broken. I believe it. I believe that. Well, they can't break your spirit. They can break your soul, but they can't break your spirit. Um, Python spirits, snakes will wrap themselves around you and and you think they're bonding, but they're priming to see if they can fit you inside of their mouth to eat. I like that, Lauren. I like that. That's good. That was good. I fell for it too. Charmer, master manipulators. Yep. Uh, a censor once tested me as how they think. I'm not sure what that means, John. I used to call my ex the boogeyman. Probably so. Why do they contact years later? Because they're a narcissist and they think that you're their property. Um, are the police trained to recognize? They told me my wife was a narcissist. They're not trained to recognize, but a lot of police that are they're trained in like the domestic violence, and they've been around it so long they can pick up on it. Now, if a police recognize someone as being a narcissist, that means that police educates themselves, and that's beautiful. That a police is educating themselves, so that's good. And if the police told you that was a narcissist, that police is taking the time to personally educate themselves, and we need more of that. We definitely need more of that. Um, let's see. So how do you co-parent with a narcissist? Can't get away from them in this case, really. Because this is not my topic tonight, I'm going to wait until I actually do a broadcast on that. So tonight, that's not my topic. I'm going to stay on topic. So just ask me a question on the topic. Misha said, do you think there will ever come a time that the court system will recognize narcissism? Well, I'm glad you asked that question. First of all, we used to wonder when the world of psychology, in mental health and psychology and psychiatry is going to recognize, beyond just the diagnosis of narcissistic personality disorder. In the world of psychology and psychiatry, we learn about the disorder because guess what? We treat people with disorders, right? And a lot of people do, they're advocates, domestic violence advocates and things like that. And so they weren't recognizing at first, and then to call someone a narcissist ethically would have been inappropriate. It wasn't until like a year ago that Dr. Romney has been working on, and I love her. She's a college professor, but she started working on, bringing this education to the world of psychology therapists. And they finally started bringing classes to us as therapists to teach us about narcissistic personality disorder and how these personality types, manipulate their victims. She started talking about the gaslighting, and they started adding that vocabulary because that's not vocabulary that we had. She started and then there were other professionals that started coming in and started talking about narcissist abuse and the long-term effects, and they started talking about it. So now the education is out there. So that finally came to play in the world of psychology. So now that it's in the world of psychology and it is, something that therapists can get trained on and certified in now, and people are talking about it, it's just a matter of time. Remember, and we said this before, that we need to get this into the legal system. Now we need to start training those that are in the legal system. Some of them know. Now, don't get me wrong, because we have a lawyer here. We have lawyers here that actually, one of the lawyers actually said that he specializes in court cases that deal with borderline narcissist personality disorders within the courtroom and talks about the gaslighting and all that. But in order to retain this lawyer, $25,000 to retain the lawyer. And so we need to get it into the family court system because even in the criminal courts. In the criminal courts, most of the time you have forensic psychologists that are working in the jail, in the jail systems that know about these different type of personality types within the criminal court system. But we need to get the training into the family court systems as well. So we are working on it. But ladies and gentlemen, with you guys being on these broadcasts, with you guys getting this information, a lot of you are in different areas of professions. Some of you are interested in law. Some of you are interested in social work. Some of you are interested in mental health. Some of you are interested in finances. Every area that you are interested in, all this is affected, but you're getting information and we are making it an impact in society. It may not be coming as fast as you want to, but the answer to that, we are working on that. And each one of you guys, each one of you guys are making an impact. Each one of you guys are making a change. And and I want to say thank you. And Misha, yes, I think it's going to come a time it's going to be recognized. Yes, because right now when we talk about, when we're talking about narcissist abuse, the thing of not narcissist abuse, but domestic violence, most of the time when it comes to the court system, they're looking for physical assaults, physical violence. You know what I mean? So they're looking for physical assaults and physical violence, and that is what they consider, something that you can take into the court of law. You know what I mean? So hopefully I answered that. Hopefully I answered that. Hey, let me tell you something. This is how you know when you have made an impact, and when you are talking about something is when all the roaches and trolls come out. That's when you know you're hitting it. That's when you know you're making impact. And so I want to let you guys know we got so many trolls on here, so many people that are trolling this channel right now, and let you know that we are hitting it on the head. Don't ever get mad at your haters. Your haters let you know that you're making an impact, and we are making an impact. We are making an impact. Am I a narcissist or I have traits of one? I've got traits of one because of the fact that I've been with one, but I'm not a narcissist. Or I definitely wouldn't be trying to help you. So hopefully you just meant that out of the kindness of your heart. I just had to show that question. If I was a narcissist, I think I probably would have told you. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how a narcissist thinks in that terms. Um, let's see. Let's see. Hey, when I tell you the trolls are coming out to let you know that we are making impact, y'all. We are making impact. And I got to get I got to get Just Be Real on my Facebook channel as a moderator. Misha, I think you're a moderator. I think. So let's see. We got any more questions? Yeah, Judge Bumpiani is really good when it comes to a lot of the legal questions that you have. Owell said, "I'm pursuing a lawyer. Cops and family court need to know and that they lie." Okay, can't help you on that because I'm not in the legal system. Um, let's see. I'm going up to some of the questions. Let me look. Uh, Lowdown says, "I was embarrassed. I'm a doc and fell for it." You don't have nothing to be embarrassed about. You don't have nothing to be embarrassed about. Think about it. They're in all aspects of our lives, in the legal system, in the medical fields, wherever. So there's no reason for you to be embarrassed. Now, low down, one thing that I can tell you is you take this experience, and from this experience, you can educate other people in the career field that you're in. So don't ever be embarrassed. Don't ever be embarrassed about your experience. It is what it is. We've been through it. And if we don't talk about it, other people will fall right into that big old rabbit hole. So don't ever be embarrassed. Don't be ashamed about what you went through. I know in the very beginning, of course, all of us were embarrassed when we've been through something like this because how in the world can you be educated and not pick this up? But they're smooth like that. They're incognito. These are chameleons. These are, they're hidden in plain sight. That's how they are. You are so welcome, Mr. Morris. Uh, I think they're losing their marbles because people are wising up to narcissism and they know the end is near. For you know what? But it's not that now that a lot of you are being educated. Now that you guys are being educated, it's not that easy for a lot of them to get away with what they've been getting away with. So you notice they're turning to other means. One of the biggest ones, and I said this years ago. I said, don't be surprised. You'll see them on social media a lot. And guess what happened? Because social media is a great cesspool of fuel, guess where they're at? On social media. And I guarantee you, for a lot of us that get on here and start doing what we're doing and we're genuine with what we do, if you watch them, especially like males, they get on there and look how quick the numbers go up. How are women still and most of the followers are females? Yeah. Oh, Misha, I thought I had you as a moderator. Don't worry, I'll find you. I'll put you on there. Let's see. You are so welcome. Don't be embarrassed, low down. Don't be embarrassed. We done been through it. We know. Okay, let's see. Melanin said, hold on. Melanin said, Narcs come out like worms after, you said, after the rain. You right about that? Mm-hmm. Or when I tell you these trolls are coming out, y'all know we hit something. You know what I mean? Um, Demond said, yes, I was married to one and did know it until later. I'm seeing it now. But so you're out of it now. So we applaud you. I'm glad you out of it. And I know it's gonna take some time for you to heal. It's gonna take a minute to heal, especially if you were in a long-term situationship with them. It's gonna take a minute to heal. You know what I mean? He used to ignore me for weeks and I didn't know what was going on. See, it's that silent game, because you have been discarded. So the silent treatment, you being punished somehow or another. You did not comply to something, so you were being punished until you figure out how to comply. All over social media. Yep, all over social media. Let's see. Trying to go up and look at the question. Let me go over on Instagram real quick. Let's see. Can they chop you? Wait a minute. How can you get out of the trap if they trapped you? Yeah. Well, the thing about it is that one of the biggest things is no contact. One of the biggest things is no contact. If you don't have any kids with them, you're not invested with them like that. Your emotions were invested with them. So if your emotions are invested with them, yes, it's going to be painful. But what you have to do now is no contact. And if you don't have, if you weren't married, you don't have kids by them or anything like that, quickest way is to go ahead and call the police and put a no contact order. Let them know that this person is harassing me, this person is stalking me, and put a no contact order in place. And then you have a support system. You have a support system. Your support system is going to make sure that you're taken care of as well. When they realize that you're not that lone, like a lot of times narcissists think you're all by yourself until you get around the people that you're around, and they're more intimidated by the people that you're around. You see what I mean? And when you have protection like that, sometimes that narcissist is like, okay, this is the one that got away. And it takes a minute. No contact, no talking, block telephone, block social media, all that. Does it get better? Nope, it doesn't get better. It gets worse. It does not get better. So if you are in a situation with a narcissist, it does not get better. It gets worse. John said narcissists collapse on the increase people are getting educated. Absolutely. Yep. How do you deal with a medically sick narcissist? Because this is not my topic tonight, um, I'm going to try to stick to the topic, okay? These narcissists are like roaches, spray rate. I like that, Damon. But that's not my topic tonight, so I'm going to stick to my topic, okay? I'm going to stick to my topic. When I do a broadcast on that, I'm going to answer those questions, okay? Do they start following you around too? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because in their mind, you are their property. Remember, you're their property. You're their property. Um, let's see. Trying to scroll back up. Let's see. Lauren said, MMP, you'll never use a wire hanger after that movie. I like that. Let's see. Uh, Other countries have recognized this. We're behind. Coercive control. Yup. Narcs and coercive control. Yup. 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 Coercive. Yup. In some states, they recognize it, but we need to get this nationwide. They have been using it to control and manipulate and have their way, victimizing themselves purposely. Yup. Yeah, Lauren said, watch the movie Mommy Dear. Okay, now I'll get it. I put two and two together. Watch the movie Mommy Dearest. That was a narcissist. Yup, you won't be using no wire hangers no more. I have far and few in my closet. No more, no wire hangers. Let me see. Domestic violence program need to include information about narcissist abuse. Absolutely. Absolutely. See, some of you guys, when I opened up that coaching program, when I opened up my coaching institute and I start doing certifications for coaching, a lot of you guys, who was that who said that? Dolores, that might be an area of education for you, because you have to remember in coaching, you have to look and see who is your client. Is a person your client or is an institution your client? Sometimes institution pay more money than a client, a person can. And so a lot of times, like in your situation, domestic violence program, and you selling that program, to divest it, putting that program out there to show them the additional information they may need. That's a moneymaker, Dolores. You can make some money. Just send me $20. Send me $20. Let's see. You're so welcome, Ernestine. You're so welcome. Trying to get through the questions. Let me go back to Instagram and see if there's any questions over there. Hello, all of you guys. My Instagram is so far behind. Let's see. How do we handle narcissism runs rampant in the church? Not my topic tonight, but when I do that topic, I definitely will talk about it. I definitely will talk about it. Let's see. Well, y'all, I'm going to start preparing to get off. I'm very prepared to get off. Let me see. Dante said, 1 Peter 3:9 says, do not repay evil with evil or insult with insult. On the contrary, repay evil with blessing, because to this you were called so that you may inherit a blessing. Absolutely. And God gave you the wisdom to get away from your tormentor too. Absolutely. Two wrongs don't make a right. You don't have to fight fire with fire. And God has given you the wisdom to get away from your tormentor. Get away from your tormentor. Get as far away as you can from your tormentor. He never wanted you to be abused and tormented. Let's see. All right, y'all. Let's see. I'm trying to see what questions I missed because they're coming really, really fast. Let's see. Trying to scroll through, look at the questions, y'all. So I know it's a little quiet. My apologies. I'm trying to read. I don't have my glasses on either, but I got X-ray vision eyes. I can see everything. I can see everything. Let me look. All right, let's see. Let's see. It says, so the topic is on helping them. I never thought that getting rid of empathy for them would help them. No, the topic is not how to help them. That was kind of a sarcastic question that I asked. How do you help a narcissist? You can't help a narcissist. Yeah, you can't help a narcissist. Kind of a sarcastic question that I asked. Good night, Ernestine. Yeah, it's kind of a sarcastic question when I put that in the title. How do you help a narcissist? And then if you were there in the very beginning, I said, you can't. And I said, good night. And I said, basically, that's the whole show. Good night. Because you can't. But go back and listen to the replay. Go back and listen to the replay. You'll see what I was saying about that in general. Let's see. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and get off. And before I get off, allow me to say this. I got a conference coming up on July 27th. I'm going to be in Atlanta, Georgia. Please don't wait till the last minute to get the tickets. A lot of times people wait till the last minute to get the tickets, and then I'm full. But I have general session, and I have VIP, and then I have Zoom. For those of you that may not be able to make it out in person, please get your ticket on Zoom so that you can watch general session on Zoom. Those of you that do VIP, that means you'll be in general session from 8 to 5, and then from 7 to 11, we're doing VIP with dinner and all white formal. We're doing dinner and we're doing a roundtable. So those of you that are familiar with my mother, she comes on Tuesdays at 7:45 in the morning Pacific Standard Time. She's doing a roundtable, and on this roundtable, for those of you that know Telsha with the T on MPD, those of you that know Tasha Leland, Confessions of a Christian Girl, those of you that know my sister Bishop Kathy Gibson, My Life is Intentional, Apostle Helen Sadler, Your Destiny Helper, myself, a good friend of mine, my sister Bridget Griffin, who is a domestic violence advocate. She works a lot in the legal systems on behalf of domestic violence, victims of domestic violence. And on top of that, she's also a part of the Victims First program for those that have been accused or legally has had something go on in the courtroom, and it was wrong. She works with the judges and the lawyers to help get these women get these records not expunged, but get them out of trouble. And she is very familiar with narcissism within the courtrooms. Also, have my sister Demetria Fields. She's a millennial, powerful young woman that understands narcissism. And for those of you that have teenagers and young adults and kids, she can tell you a lot about. She's going to be talking a lot about that as well. That's in the general session. In the evening time, all those people, with the exception of Tasha, because she's on Zoom, will be at the round table. And this is that opportunity where you can tell your story. You can tell your story. We're going to be there. You're going to have all these people sitting at the table, ask whatever questions you want. But who mentioned channels? But yes, please don't advocate. Please don't advocate other channels, please. Um, please don't advocate other channels. We don't do that. If you can delete that, please. But if those of you that would like to attend in person, you can go to overcomingnarcissistabuse.ticketleap.com. You can get your general session ticket, you can get your VIP ticket, or you can go ahead and get your ticket on Zoom. Now, the day before, I'm going to have a meet and greet. So you get to meet all of us that are going to be there. You get to meet us on Friday night. We're going to sit and enjoy. And in the very beginning, I had a video out. I was going to do it at the Hilton. No, I have locked it in. It is at the Marriott Marquis on Peachtree in Atlanta, Georgia, in the heart of Atlanta. So if you guys have any other plans, the day before, the day after, if you want to, when we're finished with the dinner, if you want to go out, you can go out because we're right smack dab in the middle. It is I did it at this venue before 2 years ago. It is at the Marriott Marquis. It is on Peachtree, right there in the smack dab in the middle of Atlanta. And there's plenty of stuff to do. And just get the tickets. Now, if you need to make payments on the ticket, please email me at drcarmenbryant@outlook.com. Let me know you would like to set up a payment plan, and I will send you a voicemail. I mean, not a voicemail. I will send you an invoice where you can make payments. All payments are due by June. So don't wait till the last minute to make your payments, but all payments are due in June because I have to turn the monies over to the hotel to make sure that everything is paid for and you guys are taken care of and you have a beautiful experience. You don't want to miss it. It is overcomingnarcissistabuse.ticketleap.com. Just be real. If you can put that there, I'm going to put it there too. It's hold on. Matter of fact, let me click on it and I'll send you the whole link. Narcissistabuse.ticketleap.com. There it goes. I'm going to send you the link on here. So let me put that here. So this is so that's Ticket Leap. So those of you that want to just go ahead and those of you that want to go ahead and get your ticket, you can go to overcomingnarcissistabuse.ticketleap.com, purchase your ticket. Those of you that like to make payments on your ticket, just Dr. Carmen Bryant, just be registered to Dr. Carmen Bryant at outlook.com. And I'll put it here too, because on some of my channels it doesn't post. just email me at Dr. Carmen Bryant for invoice for for tickets. Make payments. So those of you that would like to make payments on your tickets, I will send you an invoice and you can make payments on those tickets and they're all due in June. I'll turn all that over to the Marriott Marquis to make sure you got food and everything is set up. But please make sure you come out and support me. I really want to see you guys. A lot of you guys are faces behind a name that I don't know, and I would love to meet you. And I'm telling you, sometimes when you see people on social media is one thing, but when you see us in person, it's totally different. There are a lot of things that we can't really talk in depth about when we're on social media, but when we're in public, there are no bars hold. And remember, this year conference is about breaking generational cycles, breaking generational trauma. And when we talk about generational trauma, we're talking about um, what's the word I would like to use on social media? We're talking about childhood violations, how your body responded to those violations, how some of you say, I just grew up and I was promiscuous. I couldn't help myself. Some of you grow up with these big holes in your heart. Some of you come from families like this. How do I keep attracting people like this? What is epigenetics? What is epigenetics when it comes to genetics and narcissism being passed down or trauma? Some of you come from families that were drug addicted. You can go back and see who all were drug addicts and who committed suicide and why is suicide running in your family. Those of you that even some of you that come from family and households that have prostitutes and pimps in the family, look how this all went forward and it just kept going in the family. You're doing one thing, your child is doing something worse than what you're doing. But we're talking about this generational trauma. We're talking about all sorts of trauma. And a lot of the trauma that we're talking about is stuff that we can't really talk about on social media because it's that graphic. So we're very graphic. We're very in depth when we're talking. And we have a panel of people that are some powerhouses. And I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, when you come in person, many people who have flown in said that was the best conference they have ever been in. And they felt so much peace, so much joy. They felt totally different when they left. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss it. Now, one thing we like to do, we like to laugh and we like to eat. And so we will go up into the hotel and we're going to eat for lunch. And then I will supply you guys, those in VIP, with a dinner. And we're going to be pretty that night. We're going to be in white. We're going to wear formal. Y'all don't come in there with your little hot pants and your little leopard print pants and stuff like that, okay? But we're going to enjoy each other. Please don't wait till the last minute to get these tickets. Now, I can't guarantee you if you come to the door, especially with VIP, I have to have a head count when it comes to the food. And I can't guarantee you if you come to the door, to come in and purchase a ticket coming in. I cannot guarantee there's a space available for you. I cannot guarantee you if it's full. But please take the opportunity. And you guys know I do have I'm getting ready to, well, I'm working on it. It is, y'all, I didn't know it took this much work. It take a lot of work. It's a lot of work. But I'm getting ready to open up a coaching institute where you can become a certified coach under my institute, a certified coach. Now, this is not just a narcissist certification coaching. This is not what it is. This is a coaching institute for those of you that would like to become coaches. Some of you guys are, it is July 27th, but some of you guys are brilliant. So just like, who was it? I just spoke to you and I apologize. I skipped over your name. I didn't mean to, but she was talking about, adding this program into domestic violence programs because they need to add that part of the information is the narcissist abuse portion of it. That portion of the, but that right there is a whole coaching program that you can develop. And in my coaching program, I'm not just going to show you how to coach, but also the business of coaching, how to open up your own business when it comes to the accounting, when it comes to the not the accounting part, but the business aspect, the business licenses and the accounting portion of it, and all how to set it up, and the coaching part of it, all together, how to do coaching, what does coaching look like? Because some people call themselves coaches, but they're not really coaching. They're trying to provide therapy. And if you don't watch it, people can sue you when you're trying to provide therapy because coaching is not therapy. Some of you guys are good when it comes to finances. Some of you guys are good when it comes to, life coaching, health coaching, because these people out here that have been through this need all sorts of different types of coaching. Some of you guys You can go to, there's a Lauren in there. I just put down my ticket leap. If you go scroll, you're on YouTube. I put the ticket leap on there. It's overcoming narcissist abuse.ticketleap.com. Just be real. Put it in the comments, and I have it in the comments. You can purchase your ticket, but if you need to make payments on it, you want an invoice to make payments on it. Is due by July. Just send me an email at drcarmenbryant@outlook.com, and I will send you an invoice so that you can purchase a ticket. Mustafa, big fan. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. You got to go back and watch the replay now because I'm getting ready to go off. But listen, when I do the coaching academy, those of some of you are brilliant, and some of you are wondering like, well, how do I do coaching? How do I set this up? I got the school coming. It's just taking me a little time because I got 8,000 things that I'm doing at one time. And so I wanted to have it up before I went to my conference because I wanted to offer a discounted rate for those of you that were coming to the conference, but I don't have it finished yet. And so as I'm working on it, like I said, when I open it up, open the institute up, you guys will know. I will announce it. So a lot of you guys, some of you guys may need to stop your day job, because some of you guys are just that good. You can make your own money. And coaching is not always just one-on-one. That's the least amount of money that you can make when you're doing one-on-one. The education system has they still got money. A lot of these institutions, they still got money. And you guys, some of you have worked in the banking system. You got ideas that can help the banking system, that can help people. Some of you guys are in the legal. Some of you guys are legal advocates. Some of you guys are domestic violence advocate. You guys have things in your mind that you can get money presenting it to organizations versus one-on-one. One-on-one is like the least amount of money that you can make, unless you're doing group coaching, but like I said, I'm going to have it up when I have the coaching institute open. I will let you guys know when the coaching institute is open. I will be advertising for it. So please, if you guys come support me in Atlanta, please come and support me in Atlanta, because when you support me in Atlanta, it allows me to do other things to help. And we're spreading this word. We're getting it out there. We're trying to get it into the legal system. And then when the coaching program comes up, those of you that want me to teach it live, I will make sure I come to your location to teach it live. Other than that, it'll be online. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for supporting me. Make sure that you guys go check out my other channels. I have other channels. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. I'm on TikTok, and I post throughout the week. I'm on LinkedIn. Believe it or not, I'm live on LinkedIn right now. Please forgive me for my camera quality. I've gotten kind of lazy, and I use the camera on my computer. I need to set my old camera back up, and I'm revamping my office so that I have a area in my office that is specifically for lives. But I am happy that you all came to support me. But please come and support me in Atlanta. I am looking forward to. Y'all don't wait till the last minute. Some of you guys wait till the last minute. Some of you guys right there in Georgia, come out there and support me. Come out there and see me. I want to see you guys. I want to touch you. I want to hold you. I want to hug you. I want to say thank you, for all that you do for me, the support that you've given me all these years. And a lot of you have healed. Come and tell your story. Come and tell us what happened. Tell us what you've been through. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just Be Real for being here to support me. Y'all give her a big old hand. Y'all give her a hand. Put the hand up. In the military, we say give them a hand. We used to put a little hand up. Put a little hand up. So put a little hand up. Thank you so much, Just Be Real, for always being there to support me. Misha, I'm looking forward to seeing you in Atlanta. And give me a minute. Probably tonight or tomorrow, I'm going to go in there and make sure I have you as one of my moderators as well. And give me a minute while I try to figure out how to make you a moderator, how to make you guys moderators on my Facebook. I haven't figured that out yet, because there's Facebook, my personal Facebook, and then there's my professional Facebook. So I'm going to figure it out. I'm a smart girl. I'm going to figure it out. So thank you guys so much for being here. I hope each and every one of you have a beautiful night. Thank you so much for always supporting me. Misha said, go ahead, Just Be Real. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful evening. You guys sleep well, and you guys go be great. It was Miss Dolores. It was you, Miss Dolores, I was thinking about. When I open up this academy, you would do an awesome job. That would be a lot of money in your pocket by presenting that to domestic violence advocacy programs. You'd be surprised. Misha's going to be there to help me. Thank you, Miss Misha. Make sure you put the word out there so we can get these ticket sales going and get people and get bodies in there. So you advertise for me, okay? Y'all advertise for me. Thank you so much, and you guys have a wonderful evening. You guys.